Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Legacy Farmer, the podcast. This is your host, J.C. Young, and today's topic and discussion is this: first world problems. So we are at the time of the year where everybody's, for the most part, is starting to get really busy. I got a few customers up in the north part of the country that are still waiting a few days until they can actually get in the field just because they've had additional snow and everything up there. Guys, it's been so crazy for me working with customers from California clear up to Delaware, just to see all the different dynamics that people deal with when it comes to running their farm operation. It's been really cool to see different farming practices, how people just do things differently. It's been super educational for me from my standpoint because, you know, growing up, all I knew was Western Kansas farming and cattle, and that was it, you know, and not understanding how different it was across the country has just been a super cool experience for me. But anyways, that's just a side note. But for today's topic and discussion, guys, we're just in this part of the year where guys are starting to get really busy, right? We're getting back out into the field. You guys have been antsy. You've been anxious to just get going, right? Because we've been sitting around all winter or anything like that, and just ready to get back to doing stuff. And it's really easy for people to send themselves into an automatic pit. What do I mean by that? Well, we automatically think about all the things we don't have done, right? And that story plays over and over and over and over. And it doesn't matter how many acres you get planted one day or whatever you get done for the day. It's never enough, right? And the thing is that turns into, it just turns into really a poison for people and farmers in this country, especially men, because then you take that mentality home with you every single night, and your wife and kids get to deal with that as well. And the thing is, and the question is it really warranted? Right? Is your stress that you feel right now, or your anxiety that you feel right now, really worth it? Right? Does it deserve the attention that you're giving it? And for most of us, especially with this type of problem, guys, again, the whole title of this podcast, First World Problems, I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. No, it does not and give you the right to stress about these things or be anxious about not getting enough done, or we got so much to do, we got to get a crop on the ground. Guys, these are first world problems. Okay, are you kidding me? And this is where I'm talking to those of us that like to get into victim mode here and start acting like we have it so tough. And guess what, guys? I do the same thing. I get to times in my life where I need to have a wake-up call, and it's like, dude, like the stuff you're complaining about is so small compared to what other people face in this world as far as problems go, right? Or even in this country, when I'm talking about the problems that cause us to become victims, I'm talking about the kind of the bullshit ones where, again, never getting enough done on the farm, or this isn't happening for me, or this isn't working for me. I'm struggling with the bank or taxes or whatever. Those are all first world problems, right? The other problems that are not first world problems that everybody deals with in this world are health problems, right? And people that are in really bad situations where somebody in their family it may be really sick. You think they're worried about getting a crop in the ground when a family member around them is dying of something, right? Or really sick and could cause massive problems in their lives? Absolutely not, right? So again, this whole episode is just to kind of put into perspective here the type of problems that we typically bitch about don't deserve our attention at all. Or it's just us being a victim and not recognizing how lucky we are to have first world problems, right? And I get a lot of them too. You look at them and you really break them down for what they are. A lot of the problems that we let take up a lot of our energy throughout the day are just strictly inconveniences. Like when you really think about it, they're just inconvenient, and the day's not going perfect and stuff like that. Guess what? Welcome to being a business owner. Our entire world and days consist of solving problems. You chose this when you decided to be a business owner, just like I did. So we have to accept the simple fact that this is what our day is going to be spent doing. And what's so funny about this is we like to bitch and moan about the problems. But then if we don't have anything to do, we like to bitch and moan about not having anything to do. When the reality is the things that we spend most of our time doing are because we're solving problems, right? Or we're taking action on something, or we're producing something, or whatever. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't really make sense. So at the end of the day, my friends, I just wanted to record this episode to remind you, I don't care what stories are going on in your head right now, what inconveniences you have right now, or what other problems and challenges it is that you're dealing with as far as planting or getting a crop in the ground, whatever, right? Whatever. Those are first world problems. Absolutely first world problems. And at the end of the day, there is billions of other people in this world that would love to have your problems or my problems. They would trade them in a heartbeat. And if all of us put our problems into a pile, I guarantee you would probably run in there and take yours back. Even if your scenario is like really bad, right? And terrible. For example, my parents thought they were in the worst position ever probably when they had to file bankruptcy, right? When our farm operation went under. My granddad probably thought the same thing. But guess what? my parents are still fine. They were able to go get a job. They were able to move on in life and everything and start taking care of things. So that is just, again, a little bit of perspective there to make us realize that, hey, our problems at the end of the day, we should be grateful for these problems because we have to, they're just elementary compared to what the real problems are that people deal with in this world. And we need to be grateful for what we have here. So at the end of the day, my friends, be grateful and make sure you're focusing on the right things and spending your energy and time on the right things here to make sure you're being as productive as possible. So my friends, that concludes this episode. We will catch you on the next one.
What's up, everyone? My name is Jace Young. I'm the founder of a company called Legacy Farmer, and inside of that company, what we do is we've helped over 300 family farms simplify and streamline the entire financial side of their operation and help them learn their numbers at a deep, deep level so that they can implement the systems and the processes to make sure that their operation lives on for generations into the future.